Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Northeast High School. Welcome to the PIAA District 12 6A Football Championships. St. Joe's Prep is going to take on Imhotep. It's a matchup that we've been all looking forward to for many, many years, and here it is today. We'll bring you inside the broadcast booth. Bob Long, Oliver Gomez, Alex Shevchuk, and Tyler Kern alongside. Tyler, let's go all the way over to you and start with you. This is a rivalry, certainly in name only, in that these two teams have known that they have been the best at respective classifications, but they've never gotten the opportunity to play each other. What does this mean here today with everything on the line?
Yeah, I mean, this is huge. As you mentioned, they've kind of worked in parallel in the 5A and 6A, respectively. We've covered both teams individually on Bob Long Sports, and this will be the first time we see them in a head-to-head matchup. It's going to be a great game.
Alex Shevchuk is with us here today. Alex, when we talk about St. Joe's Prep, there are some injuries, and they've been without two guys that are going to Ohio State for most of the year, Maxwell Roy and Isaiah West. So now Kion Billups comes up in his place. Alex Haskell, the junior defensive tackle, he slides inside there as well. Thoughts on how those two guys in particular and the team has rallied around some of those injuries?
I mean, Bob, those injuries for Isaiah West, especially Ohio State, such a notable college, and losing him and getting the substitutions in Alex Haskell and the way he played against LaSalle in the PIAA classification game was just phenomenal, and I'd like to see him do it again against Imhotep today.
We're going to pause now here for the national anthem as we're about to get underway here from Northeast High School, and then we will go to Oliver Gomez for his pregame thoughts as well. They sold this game out early. They only had limited seats here today, but those that were available went very quickly. Let's bring you back one more time and get Oliver Gomez in here with us. Oliver, your thoughts on what this Imhotep charter team can bring to the table to challenge St. Joe's Prep?
Yeah, they're going to have to slow down Isaiah Billups, Keon Billups, excuse me. We've mentioned how he's filling in for Isaiah West, but he has been fantastic. A great game against LaSalle last week. They're going to have to win first down, and that's going to come with slowing him down. He's really explosive out of the backfield. If he gets some momentum, he's going to go for big yards, so you need to slow him down on first down, make them work for all their yards. If you want to have some success today, get this Prep offense off the field.
Two long-time head coaches going at it here today. Devin Johnson for Imhotep Charter, who took over for Albie Crosby, who had a long career here at Imhotep. And, of course, Tim Roken, who took over for Gabe Infante about a decade or so ago. And he also has had terrific success learning from his mentor. It all goes back to Gil Brooks, though, for St. Joe's Prep in terms of when this program really hit its heyday, and it has been a tough out for anyone in the past 20 years. Imhotep is dressed in black. St. Joe's Prep is dressed in white. Imhotep will have those white helmets, and St. Joe's Prep with the maroon helmets themselves. So thrilled that you're alongside us here today. It is a windy day, and so this is not unexpected. We'll see some holders on these kickoffs, and certainly no surprise here. The wind will be blowing at the back of St. Joe's Prep offensively on the first drive of the game. This is actually the quarterback, Joe McLeish, who will kick it deep for Imhotep. Caught there at the 12-yard line. And nowhere to go past the 32 for Messiah Akery. Acre took it all the way to the opposing 20 against LaSalle in the opening kickoff last week.
Yeah, just a huge first play to start off that game. It sets up a couple play drive into the end zone, but big first drive for the Prep here, even bigger first drive for Imhotep. Try to get them slowed down, try to keep them limited, and try to make them work for all these yards.
Starting lineup for St. Joe's Prep going across the front five. Sean Molly, the Syracuse commit Khalil Stewart, the senior at left guard. Jake Namnon, the junior first-team All-Catholic. Christian Leonard, a 2-year starter. And Blake Turner. Charlie Folk, the sophomore quarterback, will hand off to Kion Billups throughout the course of the day. And they do get it started that way. Hit and dropped on the play. Chance to meet that strong linebacking core for Imhotep Charter. A lot of times they'll play a 2-man linebacking core with a nickel look. That one time Jordan Smith, he's a terrific player, comes in and makes the stop after a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8. One-on-one coverage. They take the shot, and the ball just a little bit beyond the outstretched arms of the intended receiver. Samir Locks, a 2-year starter. He'll follow the best receiver over the course of the day. Breaks it up for Imhotep Charter. Across the defensive secondary, Dylan Abram, a transfer from Bonner Prendergast. He'll play nickel and outside corner. Malik Drayton, a dynamic kick returner, and also made a big play on the special teams on the other way. Now St. Joe's Prep called for an ineligible lineman downfield. That occurred in last week's game against St. Joe's Prep, and it was an issue of the tight end that time, Rob Novotny. We couldn't quite pick it out a week ago, but he was covered up and so was ineligible, and so when he ran his regular route, he wasn't treated as an eligible tight end. Imhotep declined the penalty. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Line to gain out at the 43-yard line. Folk looks for Jet Harrison. It's through his hands. Closest to it defensively, Dylan Abram.
What a huge stop there for Imhotep. That was big. A lot of communication on the defensive side before that ball was snapped.
Uncharacteristic from Jet Harrison here. Normally very sure-handed. Had a great game last week against LaSalle. Wishes he could have this one back, but a great first defensive drive. It's a 3-and-out for the Hawks.
Thought Folk put that ball where it needed to be.
Leo Ritchie will punt it away. He will punt at the next level. Also a terrific place kicker. Mishandled the snap, and it's blocked. Imhotep is going to start out with great field position. The big guy, Kasir Wright, comes in and gets the block.
I mean, how about this? A 3-and-out. You get to the punter. Momentum. That's what you're going to need if you're Imhotep. And that's all it takes. Fantastic special teams play, and now they're in business.
Well, the folks out there that thought, hey, this Lincoln team, Alex, took Imhotep to the brink. Maybe they're going to get run out of the building. Well, hey, long game here, but this looks like a different team than played on this very field last week.
Imhotep is bringing that Imhotep culture, Bob, and it's super tough out of that Philadelphia Public League, one of the notably best teams in the Philadelphia and Pennsylvania area.
Well, get used to this, folks. That is Jabri Wallace Coleman, 3 years of 1,000 yards rushing. Wants to cement his legacy at Imhotep, in the Philadelphia Public League, and throughout the state of Pennsylvania. Handing off to him is the sophomore quarterback, Joe McLeish, a young man that learned last year from Mikhail Davis, a 3-year starter. Flips that one out wide. Brandon Lockley comes in to clean up, gain of about a half a yard. They'll go with a lot of 10 personnel, and so that'll look like Isaiah Prater out at the wide receiver position, a 2-year captain. He's an amazing young man, track and football athlete. Zaire Pollard, Kareem Abdul-Haq, and then 2 freshmen will split snaps. Bayer Murphy and Brian Colmer. Up front for Imhotep Charter, Brian Graves, Naeem Forty Powell. Those big boys trying to lay the boom, couldn't do it there. Brian Moore at center, Nick Williams at the right guard, and Jesse Moody with 18 offers at the right tackle position. 4-down territory here for Imhotep Charter, and they'll stay on the field with the line to gain just inside the 25.
Imhotep with a promising start on first down, getting 4 yards. Gotten maybe 1 yard since.
Pistol look. And a flag blows this one dead. It's offside against St. Joe's Prep. which will be very, very close. I don't know if they will step this off. Well, they're saying first down. That was a quick call there. So 4th and 4.5, and St. Joe's Prep jumps offside on the hard count.
That's massive. You have to go for it on fourth down there, especially with the wind blowing against you. And a gift from this Hawks defense, keeping this drive going.
McLeish, handoff. They go off the right tackle for Jabri Wallace. Coleman and Tyler, who does it so well, falling forward. Didn't have a ton off that edge, but gets 3.
Yeah, Wallace Coleman didn't look like he had anything there. Delivered a heck of a stiff arm. Was able to get 3. And we talked about last week just how impressive the St. Joe's Prep front 7 is.
Second down, taking a shot. That was a fastball there. I think McLeish expected his receiver to continue across the middle where he just kind of sat down on a curl.
Yeah, he had the slant routes. He had a lot of space towards the inside part of the field, and that's where McLeish had led him. So definitely expecting that slant, but it's a missed opportunity there for a first down as we got a 3rd and medium.
On the defensive line for St. Joe's Prep, Alex Haskell, Colton Anderson, Sean Stratz, and then a platoon of Jason Nitz and Chase Whitmire. McLeish in and out of the hands. That one a fastball, and good coverage on the play by the linebacker Cam Smith, bound for Penn State next year. The idea is good though, Oliver. They're getting the ball out quickly. Kind of 1, maybe 2 read type looks for the sophomore quarterback. St. Joe's Prep, though, just not going to give those receivers a ton of space.
Yeah, this Hawks defense, great in so many ways. Pass rush is definitely one of them. You're going to have to move the ball quickly.
4th down and 7. McLeish with good pocket. Takes the shot towards the pylon. And he got 2 hands on it again and couldn't bring it in. Pretty good throw by a sophomore quarterback where only his receiver could catch it. It's a turnover on downs.
And a great find as well. He's headed towards the outside and ends up headed toward the back pylon. It's a great throw. Like you said, only his wide receiver can make the play, but in and out of the hands.
Looks a little tough as well. Looks like he's looking directly back into the sun there. See the shadows on the field.
So both teams get a stop. Teams certainly known for their defense, and known for the offense as well, sure. But both teams step up. Folk, quick out, and it is caught after a deflection by Jet Harrison. Good play on the ball there, though. Amir Blackshear got the initial block at the line. You'll see Imhotep go with a 5-down lineman set at times. 5 guys they're really confident with. Blackshear is one of them, a first-year starter. They'll go with Mikhail Whitfield, Joseph Sonda, who's wearing that number 25. Remember, Jasier Whittington, now playing his football at the University of Pittsburgh. Sonda took that number because of that. Kassir Wright, who got the block on the punt on the first offensive series of the game for St. Joe's Prep. And then Zahir Mathis, 4-year starter and Ohio State commit. And they ran at the Whitfield side of the line. Nothing doing there. 3rd down and 9 coming up.
I've only seen a few snaps, but this Imhotep defensive line is just blocking up every hole. There's nothing there in the run game.
Line to gain is the 31. The 3rd down snap. Folk with a good pocket. Contact. No flag. The flags stay in the pocket, and that's right on the St. Joe's Prep sideline. They don't like the no call.
How about that? Is that 2 3 and outs for St. Joe's Prep? Imhotep came to play.
I think prior to that LaSalle game, I think you can probably count on one hand the number of 3 and outs that St. Joe's Prep has had from early October to here in November. Another punt that was nearly blocked, but Ritchie got a boom into that one. Caught at the 35. Flags come in, And he's running the wrong direction. This is not going to be good for Imhotep. A 10-yard penalty likely to follow will take them inside their own 20.
Yeah, he fields his ball at about the 36 and trying to get to the outside on the opposite side of the field. Not a great decision. Now we'll pending this flag. We'll see where Imhotep starts this drive.
St. Joe's Prep punted that from their own 23. And as you said, likely inside the 20 here for him.
.706 to play, first quarter. Imhotep's gotten 2 stops here against St. Joe's Prep, and now McLeish in the offense, which Oliver, I think, had some good opportunities on that first drive. They get their second look.
Yeah, 100%. McLeish just missed a couple throws, couple drops, but that play towards the back of the pylon was a great throw. Like Tyler said, looking back into the sun, but definitely some positives out of that first drive. You didn't get points out of it, but definitely something to take away.
I'll have to go a long way to get there. The rest of the St. Joe's Prep defense in that linebacking core, maybe the strongest unit of this group. Brandon Lockley, the sophomore, absolute stud. They're going to blow this dead, and a false start will make it 1st and 15. Anthony Sacca moved from Sam linebacker to Mike linebacker this year. That's Tyler after playing 2 years ago at the safety position because there were a couple guys named Trotter, I guess, also playing in that linebacking core at the time. And then Cam Smith, who will go to Penn State, will play on the other side. That's a pretty good linebacking core.
Yeah, and Sacca fits right in with this one. He's been a beast.
McLeish gets rid of it. Good catch there by Jabri Wallace-Coleman, who breaks a tackle and scoots out of bounds, escorted that way by Cam Smith. It's good recognition there, Alex, by the quarterback, McLeish. Saw where the pressure was coming from, just look that way and dump it off. You know there will be space.
I mean, yeah, I don't blame him. If I saw my tailback going wide, committed to Penn State, I'll drop it off right for him, and he got those extra yards with his strong body there.
Line to gain is the 30 as McLeish stands in again. And a nice catch, a diving catch made on the play. That's one of those freshman receivers, Bayer Murphy. Murphy, a track athlete. And a guy that Devin Johnson told us, hey, we like when guys run track. We like when they do multi-sport. We really like when a guy can take it the top off the play and go for 6 on any given play. Right now, they'll settle for 7.5 yards on 3rd and 7. Flag comes in immediately, and it's bumped up in the air, caught by St. Joe's Prep. It's an interception. Now. What is that flag? It was in the area of either offside or illegal formation. In that it was thrown immediately upon the snap, and it is an illegal formation. St. Joe's Prep will decline the penalty, and the Hawks get the first big turnover of the game.
Another huge momentum shift. Great protection in the secondary. A big hit, pops the ball in the air. As soon as it's out in the air in the middle of the field, you're just hoping it finds the grass. This time, it's into the hands of a Hawk.
With the way these defenses are playing, plays like that will be the deciding factor today.
It's a great point, Tyler, because it was exactly how Lincoln got back in the football game last week. Imhotep effectively dominating that one through the first half, they felt. And a couple of Jabri Wallace-Coleman fumbles put Lincoln in good position, ended up taking the lead and having the lead until the final snap of the game. Misdirection for Kion Billups. That's so hard to do, though, against this front four and the speed that they have coming off the edge. Bradshaw in there on the stop. Kassir Wright, in the area as well.
Yeah, I mean, the penetration this defensive line is getting is impressive. There were 2 or 3 linemen ready to clean that up despite the misdirection.
Big-bodied wideout Jameer Rowe on the near side of the field as we see it. 2nd down and 14. The offset pistol. And there was movement early. Came from the wideout, Ramir Hardy. Keep an eye on the slot here. Slot receiver, near side of the field for us, and it was absolutely an early movement for Hardy there.
St. Joe's Prep just a little too familiar with the laundry this year, it seems. Last week had quite a few critical penalties called against them as well.
Second down and we'll call it 19 yards to go. Need to get all the way to the 16 for a first down. That'll help. Hardy breaks a tackle. Ramir Hardy, touchdown. St. Joe's Prep on the board first.
This is a great throw and catch from Folk here. Gets rid of the football quickly towards Hardy. So explosive, so good when he's in the middle of the field. Powers through some defenders and is into the end zone.
I really like that from Hardy. Just a great effort. Should have been probably brought down around the 10 and just a few stiff arms and turning those legs in for 6.
It's interesting if you go back and look at that penalty, the false start. Hardy was jumping up and down when the play was blown dead as Richie makes it 7-0. And I think he and the St. Joe's Prep sideline
just hit a car with that field goal or extra point there.
But he saw something, I think, on that last defensive sequence. And I don't know if Imhotep adjusted the defense, but found the pocket in the middle of that defense. And it's a 7-0 lead for St. Joe's Prep.
And you can't really fault the Imhotep defense. They just let up one big play there. They've been electric so far in this first quarter. Just a good play from Folk and Hardy.
Want to again welcome everyone into our broadcast here today. Bob Long, Oliver Gomez, Alex Shevchuk, and Tyler Kern. Imhotep Charter. They've been waiting for this game for many, many years. Defense has been good to this point. Really just that big play. The interception to start with. And then Hardy getting free. Long way to go, 4:43 to play first quarter. Talent abounds on both sides of the field. Richie with the wind at his back. That'll find its way halfway into the end zone, almost out of the back of the end zone. We weren't lying when we said it is blustery here today. And for the first quarter, it'll be at St. Joe's Prep's back. Similar types of teams, similar types of situations. We've mentioned it at the jump with the two sophomore quarterbacks. But in talking to both head coaches before the game, they both stressed that there is a lot of inexperience on the roster, certainly compared to, well, perhaps last year was the best version of St. Joe's Prep that we've seen. Could very well be the same for Imhotep. There were some teams in those mid-2010s that would also stand up to that muster. I would say the same for St. Joe's Prep, with guys such as John Runyon Jr., and Marvin Harrison, certainly, Kyle McCord. Got some pretty good historical teams to pick from for both of these units. Second down and 7, and a flag comes in. It's a false start against Imhotep.
That was early, too. It didn't even seem like they were set yet.
So back behind the sticks. I know you can't do that against this St. Joe's Prep team and expect to be successful.
No, your best bet is to win the penalty differential.
Right, especially when Jabri Wallace-Coleman is getting you solid yards on first down. You have to make sure that you're building off of that.
McLeish, nice catch. Keeping the legs moving.
And that was a clean pocket there for McLeish as well. Had all day to get that out.
And it looks like for Imhotep Charter, Zaire Pollard, big-bodied, 6'1", 190-pound wide receiver, what Devin Johnson calls the best-kept secret. Leading receiver on the team this year. Now a third down and medium. Pollard got the first down, reached the football across the 30. It's a first down. 2 straight catches for Pollard, exactly when they needed it.
Felt like you spoke that one into existence there, Bob. Just a well-designed play, getting their big-bodied receiver open there.
First down and 10, ball at the 30. Wallace Coleman, and flags come in again. It's another false start against Imhotep. Alex, both teams spend a little bit of time here behind the sticks early.
Yeah, Bob. I mean, it's all because of the penalties here. We're seeing a lot of laundry for both the Prep and Imhotep, and like we said earlier, it's not Imhotep's best bet to keep getting these flags.
Quick out, caught there on the play by number 5, Kareem Abdul-Haq. Offers for Haq come from Penn State, Pittsburgh, and Kent State. And another great story on Haq is we talked about how Sonda on the other side of the football wearing number 25 for Jasir Whittington. Kareem Abdul-Haq wearing number 5 for Tysir Denmark, who's a freshman at Penn State. Very close and took a lot from him. Great job on that play by Colton Anderson, number 92, the interior defensive lineman for St. Joe's Prep. Sheds one block and found himself in the backfield to take down the running back Wallace Coleman. Third down and 9. McLeish felt the pressure early, and he's just going to take it out of bounds. That is a huge loss as well. They know they're going to punt it away, but it's a loss of 5, as he would have had the ability to just toss it into the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, Imhotep had trips on the right there. McLeish was looking over there, but felt that pressure, had to roll out to his left, and it just, wasn't able to get to the receiver that play was designed for.
Well, St. Joe's Prep has historically been the best special teams unit in the state of Pennsylvania. Took a little dose of their own medicine getting a punt blocked in the opening stages of this one. McLeish is back deep to punt it away and gets a decent punt. It takes a big Imhotep hop all the way inside the 40-yard line.
A huge drive here for both sides. First Prep opportunity bouncing back from that touchdown drive, and longest field they've had to play with so far.
St. Joe's Prep in those white tops with the black pants. Imhotep Charter, white helmets, black tops, black pants. Football colors, huh, Tyler?
Football colors.
Too wide on the near side of the field. Gavin McConnell is the man in motion playing halfback, and he's able to set up Kion Billups, who just won't go down. Kion Billups all the way across the 45.
Billups with the longest run of the day there. It was crucial last week in that dominant win over LaSalle.
And I wouldn't put it past Kion Billups to have heard all the noise this week about Jabri Wallace Coleman, and maybe to take that a little personally. Make sure folks are talking about him by the time the day is over. First and 10. Line to gain is the 32. Handoff to Will Vocalos. Nowhere to go there. Linebacking core came up and nabbed him. Looked like Jordan Smith, number 8, in there on the tackle. .137. Clock ticking here in this first quarter. Three wide on the near side of the field. Just the tight end Novotny to the boundary side. No play clock available here today, so they're going to have to use their own calculations, and certainly the officials will let them know with hand signals. Second and 10. Folk gets to his second read. Hardy. Did he get the foot down? I still don't see a call. Now there is. What a catch by Ramir Hardy. And another great play to keep the play alive by Folk.
This is a fantastic catch by Hardy. It's rising on a little bit towards out of bounds, and gets his hands up, gets the foot down. Doesn't get much better than that.
credit to Folk there, too. Great job using his legs to extend the play there. That Folk-Hardy connection has been deadly early.
They got the first down as well. Folk has to step up, gets rid of it, and he was looking for Jameer Rowe. Might have been a touchdown there.
100%. Jameer Rowe leaks out to the outside of the field. Nobody over there, and Folk can place his football. It's going at least to the 10. But there is a flag down. They're going to call a hold. Oh, no, ineligible, I mean.
Another ineligible lineman downfield for St. Joe's Prep. So it'll be first down and 15, beg your pardon. First and 15 with 49 seconds left in the first quarter. Elijah Turner, Jet Harrison, and Jameer Rowe, the three wideouts on this side of the field. Ramir Hardy, the lone receiver on the boundary side, with Billups in the backfield. Press coverage shown by Dylan Abram, and now he backs off. Dangerous. Zaire Mathis was in the area looking to pick off that screen.
Yeah, Folk just kind of lobs this up to him. Like you said, Mathis flying through here as you see him read it.
Yeah, it looked like Folk, with some misdirection there, looking out to his right, just looks left quick and doesn't really establish where the Imhotep defense is.
I think he saw Abram come to the line, and then Abram peeled back, and so Folk had to go to his next read. Second down and 15, line to gain inside the 20. Folk protected well, but now runs out of time. Well covered down the field by Imhotep Charter. And a couple of guys in there on the sack, including Mikhail Whitfield.
Yeah, just a complete showing from the Imhotep defense on that drive. Line got home, and they were bought enough time by these defensive backs. Great coverage as well.
So now 3rd and 21. Imhotep with just two linebackers. They'll go nickel, and St. Joe's Prep will hand off. It'll be 4th down and 11, and that should keep the offense on the field. And that'll also end the first quarter. And so, if St. Joe's Prep was thinking about what would have been a 47-yard field goal, which would be very long, by the way, this would have been the direction to do it in. And that is, in my mind, Oliver, taken completely off the table because of how the wind will be coming at them the other direction.
Right, 100%. It's also going to affect your ability to use the ball in the air. Billups with a good pickup there, but most likely you're going to have to go to the air here on 4th down and 11. We know Folk's a great quarterback. We'll see what he can do here if they decide to go for this 4th down.
End of the first quarter. Imhotep St. Joe's Prep, the Titanic matchup that we have been looking for. I want to thank my crew here today, Tyler, Alex, Oliver, and want to welcome everyone, if you're watching this live, on the Sports Fan Base Network. So the league decided that in real time this game was going to be pay-per-view, and Sports Fan Base Network is providing the credit card processing and the platform to do that. I want to thank them for having us out here today. It's a terrific game to be broadcasting on a wonderful fall Saturday. Winner of this matchup will take on the District 11 champ. Heck of a game last night, by the way, between Parkland and Emmaus. Parkland was victorious, and that program has been very good for a long, long time. Fourth down and 11 for St. Joe's Prep. And just off the mark. He was intending that one for his target, Ramir Hardy. It's a turnover on downs, And Imhotep gets off the field again defensively.
Yeah, Folk just misses it a little bit here. Hardy finds space towards the inside part of the field. Just can't locate it there, and now Imhotep has a chance to go the other way.
Imhotep, the only loss this year to East St. Louis, a nationally ranked team. It was a game that did get away from them, and Devin Johnson said, hey, listen, when we get back on that stage again, we don't want to flinch. Well, somebody flinched there.
Beat me to it there. It's been a lot of flinching.
Yep. But this is still a young team, only 5 to 6 seniors that get legitimate minutes on the team, and so they had to learn how to win earlier in the season. Okay, now the time comes to test yourself. How have you learned over that time frame? Nowhere to go. It's coming in there on the play is big Alex Haskell. Haskell, he can play anywhere on the line. 3 technique defensive tackle. He can slide inside. He can play defensive end. He played a lot of defensive end last year. He is just super talented, and schools all across the country are drooling at the opportunity to get him on campus. That was the running back, Rennell Word. Rennell Word comes into the game there. He
got those 5 yards back.
Yep, sure did. So it'll be second and about 12 after the 2-yard loss. Jabri Wallace-Coleman back onto the field. Quick discussion there amongst those officials, and only now do they wind that clock. Second down, and we'll call it 12. Colabardino heads back into coverage, and they had a wide open man. They were trying to test Cam Smith out there in coverage, and they had Prater wide open.
Just was able to get that off, and it looked like a very similar design play to the last third down on the other side of the field with the trips to the left side. McLeish had enough time to get it out there this time, but just a little overthrown.
Yep, it was a rub route that got those St. Joe's Prep defenders confused. Colabardino is deep. McDonald now gets into coverage. McLeish takes a shot, has a one-on-one coverage, and the safety Colabardino was too late. Big-time play. Abdul Haq switches the field for Imhotep.
Great job by McLeish stepping up there. Cam Smith was right on him. And what a dime.
I mean, they've been threatening a big play all day. You've been waiting for McLeish to let one loose, and here he does on 3rd and long. Fantastic throw and catch.
And they go quick. St. Joe's Prep up to task. Cam Smith. A little thumbs down from number 94, Sean Stratz, on the defensive line.
Just feels like every second down is over 10 yards.
Line to gain is the 20. There's that trips outside on the wide side of the field, as you mentioned, Tyler. Same route, and St. Joe's Prep nearly jumped to that one. You don't want to run the same play at Messiah Acree multiple times. I have been super impressed by this young man, and 2 times seeing him in person. And Oliver, every team that plays him seems to go at him.
Yeah, but a couple repeat plays like you said, but watching Cam Smith on the near side of the line here. He has been flying through towards the quarterback. So they're going to have to continue getting rid of the ball quickly, because if he gets to the quarterback, he's a really powerful guy. He's going to jar that football loose. You got to make sure you're protecting against them, but they'll get 5 here on Cam Smith.
So 4 down territory, and they'll have 3rd and 7 now instead.
The laundry is flying today.
Samaj Hill is going to play tight coverage on the boundary side of the field here. Couldn't get him to jump that time. He's going to take on Abdul Haq, Will Hill. That'll be a great matchup throughout the day. McLeish into triple coverage. It was nearly intercepted. Acree in there, as well as McDonald.
Abdul Haq hit that slant route. He was wide open for 6, was waving for it.
Yep, on right-hand side of the screen as you see it. That's on the other side of the field where he tried to fit it into that window. 4th down, we'll call it a long 6. Need to get right to about the 20-yard line. McLeish's got to get rid of it. Incomplete. 2 hands on the football, and it was dropped. Colaberdino in coverage on Abdul Haq. Prep gets off the field again.
Great bounce back defensively after the big play from Imhotep. They get pressure on the quarterback a couple of plays, have to make him get rid of it quickly, forcing him to throw to tough targets.
Is that football off target? Yeah, a little bit. Is that tough to come in with McDonald, a physical safety coming in? Yeah, it is. Tyler, it's also a play that probably needs to be made if you're going to win this football game.
Yeah, was he even past the line to gain there, though?
He was. He was by a yard or 2. Would have been a big conversion.
Instead, St. Joe's Prep with their second 4th down stop of the day.
Thought there was early movement again. Not called. Imhotep, though. How about hitting a brick wall, huh? What a play by Joseph Sonda. He and Whittington, they talk often. They share that number. I think Jasier Whittington's going to be calling Joseph Sonda after this one. What a hit.
Great example of low man wins there.
No gain on the play. Jet Harrison, the wide out, and Ramir Hardy, keep an eye on him in the slot. Very dangerous from that position on the field. Looking for Harrison. What a catch by Harrison. Because Dylan Abram had visions of taking that to the house.
Yeah, Harrison on the far side of your screen all alone. No safety help over there. He decides to come in on a slant route. Folk gets rid of it quickly. Great coverage, great timing, but an even better catch.
Yeah. Imhotep there with 5 down linemen on 2nd down. Not sure if they're expecting the run or if they were just trusting their defensive backs in that man coverage.
Often light in the linebacking core as well. A lot of times they'll just go with 2. 3rd down and 3. Kion Billups goes into that white box and gets to the 2nd level. 1st down.
Billups has just been electric.
And keeps the train moving. A young man that always falls forward.
There's that 5 down lineman on Imhotep again.
1st and 10. And Folk takes a shot, one-on-one coverage. A lot of hand fighting, and the flag comes in.
I thought that was offensive pass interference. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I got that pretty physical there against that defender. But, hey, it all depends on what the calls are going to be and how they're going to officiate this game. We'll slow it down even more. Hey, Beth, definitely both had sets of hands in there, Tyler, to your point.
And that's against Imhotep. DPI.
And so back to live action as St. Joe's Prep has good field position again. As they keep moving it down the field, but it won't be much on that play. Gain of 1 on 1st and 10. Linebackers that we mentioned for Imhotep Charter, Charles Belcher with 12 offers, including Notre Dame, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Duke, Penn State, Indiana. Converted from a quarterback to a linebacker, 6'2", 200. And as he was not playing quarterback early, schools and recruiters came to him and said, hey, is this guy going to play defense at all? Because we think he might be a rock star in that regard, and has never looked back. Zyke Scott, the sophomore, will also be in the linebacking core with Jordan Smith as well. Will Vokalos, the running back, just checked in. Charlie Folk delivered across the middle, and a flag comes in. That will go against Dylan Abram. And listen, we're going to have a different view than that official does, but you're going to watch the right arm of Abram, and if he turns that body of the receiver, that's what draws a call like that. One more look. It's that right arm. Does that body of the wide receiver turn? That official had a better look at it than we did.
Yeah, it's tight coverage. And deemed too tight by the official.
1st and 10 from inside the 15-yard line. Folk, one-on-one. The lob for Harrison. Did he regain possession? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Jet Harrison. Marvin Sr. and Jr. are somewhere smiling right now.
Great throw from Falk. Puts it where it needs to be. Harrison bobbles it the first time. Is able to regain possession, get the foot down. That's a fantastic catch.
Let's slow this down again. Able to get that foot down. Terrific play by the freshman wideout.
And you're short a defensive back here with those 5 down linemen. Not sure if they're expecting the run. We're just trying to get pressure on Folk there.
They'll do 5-man front a lot and leave 2 in the linebacker. In that case, they can still play with those 4 defensive backs. But St. Joe's Prep, it has not been easy sledding offensively over the course of the day. Credit to Imhotep for that. But they do have a 14-point lead with 7 minutes to play in the second quarter.
You just can't help but feel that, Imhotep needs an answer here right now. Still, obviously, a ton of time left in this game, but it's been the St. Joe's Prep show on offense so far.
We want to thank everyone that's watched some of our coverage throughout the course of the year. Of course, right now, if you're watching live, we're on Sports Fan Base Network behind a paywall due to the league's recommendation there. But we want to appreciate everyone that's watched our coverage this year on Bob Long Sports. Have had a thrilling time covering the Philadelphia Catholic League and LaSalle High School. Does feel like a big moment. Wind is continuing to play a factor, although those are some pretty good balls by Charlie Folk going into the wind. Imhotep has a chance here to cut this back to 1 with the wind at their back offensively. No doubt they've had their chances. Holy.
That was, yeah, I mean, the first one goes all the way in the back of the end zone, but that's because of the wind here. I'm shocked he let this one go as easily as it did.
Yeah, on this one there, I mean, that hopped in the field of play, and if it had backspin, which it certainly could have.
It's a live football.
That's a live football, and Imhotep was running off the field at that point.
Also close to being a penalty there as well, though.
Yep, it bounced just on the other side of the pylon.
I think that speaks to the boot into the wind. That's nuts.
Leo Ritchie, as good a kicker as there is in Pennsylvania. So now here's the question, right? Jabri Wallace-Coleman had 250 yards last week against Lincoln. Can they stay with it? They do there. He broke 1 tackle and ended up with a hard-fought gain of 2.
By definition, he stayed with it. Looked like it was going to be a 4-yard loss there.
Sean Stratz had 2 mitts on him, couldn't bring him down. But that's the question, right? I mean, it is too early to just go to the air exclusively. But St. Joe's Prep's offense is going to keep putting pressure on you, so you have to get some points. Wallace Coleman taken down on the play. Anthony Sacca, the Notre Dame commit, secures a 2-yard loss.
Wow. Looks like 3rd and 12 now. Just feels like there's no answer for this Hawks defense.
Flying around. Line to gain is the 30. Nose of the football have to get to the 30. Nearly intercepted. It was Messiah Acree. Step for step, and a flag comes in. He's out there celebrating, but behind the play and a late flag comes in Zaire Pollard, the intended receiver.
Yeah, and Joe McLeish takes a massive hit on the back end of this as soon as he releases the football.
Yeah, I mean, they brought the house there. I think there were 6 rushers there.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's a late hit after the
Oh,
play.
that's what it was. It was not the holding. It was the late hit by Roman Colabardino. Here it is. So the ball is out, and if that's the call right there, it's a tough one for St. Joe's Prep. That's bang, bang right there. When that ball was a little behind him, it was a tip ball. You're just finishing the play if you're Roman Colabardino. McLeish has time. Flings it over the middle. And one of the biggest offensive plays of the game, Kareem Abdul-Haq into Hawk territory.
It's a fantastic play design here. Play action, getting McLeish to the outside where you know he has space. Hawk moving to the inside from the far side of the field. Everything working to get a big gain there.
Well, that's a break you got to take advantage of if you're Imhotep. And that was nearly intercepted, but there was a lot of grabbing on the near side of the field. A flag followed suit. That was an ineligible lineman downfield against Imhotep Charter. That's why the flag came from the near side line judge. First and 15, 5:21 to play, second quarter. Back behind the sticks, nothing that either of these teams is not used to already here today.
And they'll take it right back.
High knees.
It's got to be the 3rd time we've seen that. They give up yards, go to the hard count, and it's working out.
Look at my man, Nick Williams here, number 71, 3-year starter. Give me those high knees. Yes, sir.
It's usually a punishment, not a celebration.
That's right.
He's had a celebration for every offside so far.
Cover's got to be running bare here. What a hit in the backfield. Cleaned up by the linebacking core, but it's all about Samaj Hill, the cornerback, identifying that route and knifing his way to make the play.
Yeah, Tal, you've mentioned how every second down seems to be behind the line of scrimmage. That's in part of the false starts that Imhotep's been giving up. That's in part of because they're trying to move the football so quickly. They're dumping the ball off behind the line of scrimmage. They're running a lot of screen passes. And the Prep has been getting there. They've been getting a lot of losses. They've been getting a lot of losses from Imhotep.
Yeah, that's spot on. I just don't know what the answer to it is.
I'm also not sure why that clock is not running. 5:13 as he chucks it deep. It was a pretty good throw, but Hawk, though, I think it kind of, the wind. I mean, there's a lot of wind up there. You get it high, and it just got away from him. It was the right read. So now a big 3rd down. Certainly not automatically 4-down territory, just on the other side of midfield, but you can call this with 2 plays in mind. 3 wide on the wide side of the field. Saka shows blitz. And the Prep is now looking to the sideline. Do they come with a different look here? Do they bring that blitz one more time? Lots of adjustments. McLeish over the middle, and Messiah Acree in there on coverage. Intended receiver was Abdul Haq. It's 4th down.
You said it before. They've been going towards Acree a lot, especially when you have Abdul Haq, who's going up against them. But Acree has been fantastic, keeping the ball out of Hawk's hands.
After we broadcast the LaSalle St. Joe's Prep game last week, Cam Smith, senior leader for St. Joe's Prep, I asked him the question about Acree and the types of plays he made. Do you remember what he said, Tyler?
I don't.
He said he's a heck of a player. He's terrific. He talks
a
a
lot.
lot.
That's right.
But, man, he can back it up. McLeish gets off a boot. Caught at the 5. And out to the 20, where he'll nudge forward for maybe 1 more yard. I'd talk a lot, too, if I was targeted that much and was blanketing the way he has been every time we've seen him this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard for defensive backs to talk the most trash of any position. It's because you got to get in your, opposing receiver's head.
Right, because, of course, the receivers never saying a word.
No, the receivers are not divas
No.
in any way, shape, or form. But I like it.
I love it, too.
Yeah.
Well, this is important here, folks. 4:48 to play, 2nd quarter. The Imhotep defense has stood up very well to St. Joe's Prep, but what they've been able to do over the course of the year is wear down teams with that offensive line, with Kion Billups and his physicality. Billups off the right tackle. Backside pursuit comes from Zaire Mathis, the 6'6", 215-pound Ohio State commit coming off the edge. He's worked back from injury over the course of the year, as healthy as you're going to be at this time in mid-November after all those live reps over the course of the year. 2nd down and 6. The St. Joe's Prep offensive line were able to bear down on LaSalle over the course of the game last week. LaSalle certainly got their punches in as well, a game that came down to a couple of snaps. Nearly intercepted by Zaire Mathis. That's why 6'6" with those long arms on that defensive line, among other reasons that those are good traits. That's how that can really help you. Almost an incredible play that surely would have turned this game around.
Yeah, it's good blocking from the offensive lineman there, but Mathis able to recognize the throw, get up quickly. Like you said, he has a massive frame.
And Alex is running our camera today. I do want to put something in your head for if you can get it at some point when they're going this way down the field. Charlie Folk has a big bald spot, if you will, on the side of his helmet. That actually occurred during that LaSalle game. We talked about the physicality of this one. As Folk avoids one, likely a hold, but boy, a great throw, and Harrison could not drag the foot. So it's incomplete. It's 3rd down. It's likely a hold. If not, it is a hold against St. Joe's Prep, and Imhotep should decline this penalty.
All day.
Right? It was 3rd, wasn't it? No,
Yeah.
I guess it was 2nd. I had it at 3rd, but they're walking this off.
Wow.
And
No, I mean, it still says 3rd down. So that would have been 4th down and 6. And now it's 3rd down and 16.
That's a call.
Yeah, yep. Let's see what St. Joe's Prep can do. They have second life here. They're 100% punting that football if that penalty is declined.
Maybe Imhotep taking a gamble on their defense here, hoping for better field position with a punt into the wind.
Folk with all the time in the world. Harrison has the first down and a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't know, folks.
That felt unnecessary.
You have to question that decision. And St. Joe's Prep now, with all the momentum, felt like they had a second life breathed into them on that drive. Plenty of time to go down the field and score here again before half. Right? I mean, that was called incomplete on the prior play, right?
I believe so.
The toe tap was not consummated by Jet Harrison. That would have been the only thing. But it was what I saw in live time, that ball was ruled incomplete on 3rd and 6. And who knows, maybe that word did not get to the Tep sideline. 2nd and about 6 to go. Folk now in no hurry whatsoever. 3 timeouts remain for St. Joe's Prep per the big scoreboard here at Charles Martin Memorial Stadium at Northeast High. Pistol look. Billups gets downhill. Billups has the first down, stiff-arming his way inside the 35.
And Billups is just having himself a day.
Playing second fiddle to nobody on this field here today. 2:07 clock ticking. St. Joe's Prep again in no hurry. They have the 3 timeouts to work with. Ramir Hardy, the wide receiver on the near side of the field. Folk on the run, makes a great throw, and Rob Novotny makes the play. The rarely used tight end in the passing game, a consummate blocking tight end, comes back to the football and makes a nice play for his quarterback.
It's a good throw on the run. Novotny getting his hands under the football. A great throw and catch. And into the red zone go the Hawks.
Now we're under 1:10 to play, and I certainly understand not wanting to give Imhotep a lot of time. St. Joe's Prep now needs to get moving. Under a minute to play in this second quarter. Folk. He'll take off with it himself and step out of bounds. That will stop the clock with 52 seconds to play. The Imhotep sideline wanted a hold as Folk started to escape the pocket.
It did look like a hold, did unleash Folk there to the outside.
2nd down and 6. Folk. Good move there by Ramir Hardy to get up the field. Now he's stood up and they're going after the football. Samir Locks was in there on coverage. Timeout, I believe. No. Okay, I don't know why they stopped the clock. And I guess they did give him a first down on that play, didn't they?
Yes.
So momentary stoppage then as they reset the chains. And now that St. Joe's Prep sees that, they call their first timeout of the half. 33 seconds to play.
And if you're St. Joe's Prep, the playbook is just kind of wide open here. First down and goal. Able to remove the ball in the ground game and in the air.
Would not be surprised whatsoever to see it go to Kion Billups on one of these plays with the 2 timeouts to work with. And they've done a great job getting this clock down, right? It's been deliberate as they came across midfield and started to get into Imhotep territory now. 3 plays, no time concerns. and a chance to give Imhotep the ball with very little time left on the clock.
I feel like Billups, don't have the stats to back this up, but has had 3 or 4 kind of explosive 10-plus yard runs today so far.
These are two teams that since 2013 have been to the respective state championship games 17 times. Maybe even a few more because it's only been 9 straight for St. Joe's Prep. I think it's actually 19 times in that time frame. 9 straight for St. Joe's Prep. Last one they didn't get there was 2015.
That's insane.
And then for Imhotep Charter, 8 since 2013. First down and goal from just inside the 10. Play action fake. It's a great play call, and it's going to be a touchdown. Charlie Folk finds his fullback, Gavin McConnell. The wrecking ball, they called him. Bounds his way into the end zone for 6.
That was just a great effort by McConnell. Well-designed play. It looked like it was being handed off to Billups. A lot of misdirection on the St. Joe's Prep Hawks offense today.
And I really want to get some clarity at halftime because before we belabor it too long, at 3rd down and 6, where the penalty was accepted, I had it. And that ball was ruled incomplete to Harrison. That would have been a punt for St. Joe's Prep. Imhotep would have had the football with 3+ minutes to go, probably in decent field position. And now it's 20-0 St. Joe's Prep, and Imhotep has no time with the football in their hands. A game changer. Leo Ritchie does what he does. It's 21-0 St. Joe's Prep. And Alex, I'd say this, none of it's come easy for St. Joe's Prep, but they have just continued to march the football downfield, put a lot of pressure on this Imhotep team.
I mean, yeah, Bob, this Imhotep defense has been playing fairly well. I think St. Joe's Prep is such a tough offense to go against, and this TEP defense has been holding them up until the end of the first half, and kind of you want to see that TEP offense step up and get some points on the board so the TEP defense doesn't have to so Imhotep doesn't have to strictly rely on their defense.
Yeah, the 21-0 score definitely doesn't tell a tale about how this defense is playing. Tyler, you mentioned a couple big plays from Billups, but otherwise they've been able to keep him relatively in check. Some good plays on the line for him. But eventually this Prep offense is going to get to you.
Ritchie will try again as that ball did fall off the tee. Again, a very windy day. He'll be kicking into the wind. And now they'll have to, as it's come off for the second time, use a holder. I think. I guess not. Maybe that's an NFL thing.
Got to kick it quick.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a race against the wind.
Ritchie drives that kick. It's a live football picked up at the 15. And a flag comes in. 3 flags come in. It's a good return, but it's coming way back. Likely inside the 10 for 1 snap.
And who comes out with this in the second half is Imhotep, right?
Imhotep does.
Yeah.
Block in the back called against the Imhotep Charter Panthers. First down from about the 10. 16 seconds remain. You would assume nothing but a kneel down and a chance to get to the locker room and figure things out. St. Joe's Prep certainly was not saying this publicly, but they felt that that game they played last week to avenge the earlier regular season loss to LaSalle was as tough a test as they'd see on their way to the state final. This game fell into that type of category as well. And the Hawks with a 21-0 lead headed to the break. First to get to the break is Captain Anthony Sacca. Messiah Akery right behind him and the rest of the St. Joe's Prep Hawks. We'll find the locker room and see if they can finish off another 24 minutes of football to emerge as District 12 6A champs to take on the District 11 champ in the state quarterfinals. It's the first time that these teams have ever played. Imhotep up from the 5A due to success formula. They're going to need some answers if they want to come out victorious and take down the Mighty Hawks. Stay with us, folks. It's halftime, and we will be back. And welcome back, folks. Second half about to get underway between St. Joe's Prep and Imhotep Charter in the PIAA District 12 6A Championship. By the way, as it turns out, not a true city championship game. We talk about that a lot as the ball rolls off the tee. Only a true city championship game occurs when the Public League champ takes on the Catholic League champ. And how and why that doesn't happen at times is if there is a 5A team playing a 6A team, as, you know, well, that won't necessarily happen in this, but you know, when the league champion, how shall I say this? The league champions are not from the same classification, right? So last year, Imhotep 5A won the Public League. St. Joe's Prep 6A won the Catholic League. They obviously didn't play in this game or any other game ever leading up till today. The reason that that's not the case here today is actually because LaSalle is the Catholic League champs. It's a regular season crown because there's 4A, 5A, and 6A teams. They don't have the time to do a true league playoff and then bifurcate and stratify into different classifications. So finally, we've seen this game, but it's not actually a true city championship. So just a one-off for you guys.
This is clear as mud.
Thanks, Tyler. Somebody at home is following. Lockley heads out wide, and as a result, into that vacated area goes the wideout. Beg your pardon, coming out of the backfield, Jabri Wallace Coleman. So Coleman now comes out of the backfield, splits out wide, and Imhotep has something going here. A gain of 13 yards.
Imhotep back to it in terms of getting rid of the football quickly. This time it works out.
McLeish gets rid of it and takes a huge hit from Alex Haskell. Caught on the play by Wallace Coleman, who's a little slow to get up. So he comes out of the backfield twice, makes 2 catches, and is a little dinged up after the play by Brandon Lockley, the sophomore linebacker.
We saw something similar with LaSalle last week. Couldn't get much established with the run game, but were able to get their running backs into the game via the air.
McLeish goes down. Sean Stratz on the sack.
It was just a matter of time for this Prep defensive line. They've gotten pressure seemingly every play. And finally they get to the quarterback. Huge loss and 3rd and forever.
They run a little twist there, and so that left side of the line had to deal with Whitmire, as well as Haskell was in on the area. But Stratz just got past that edge, the right tackle, to make the play. 3rd down and a long way to go. 3rd and 17. McLeish got to get rid of it. He won't. And he's taken down. Jason Nitz, the sophomore lineman. And Nitz just kind of feigns like he's going to head out into coverage and just sneaks around the left tackle, Brian Graves Jr. He was worried more about up the middle. Great play by Nitz. This is danger zone right here.
4th and a mile.
4th and a mile, and then with how good this blocking unit has been.
Plays blown dead.
False start.
back to the 10-yard line.
So he'll be in his own end zone here, most likely.
4th and a mile and 5 yards.
1,765 yards. How's that for you, Tyler? A mile and 5 yards.
What's that in feet?
5,295, of course. McLeish off the side of his foot. And St. Joe's Prep is going to have it in great field position. Real chance to put the foot on the pedal here right now for St. Joe's Prep. Take a little bit of the wind out of the sails of Imhotep Charter. Felt like that was going to be an important drive to Imhotep Charter offensively coming out of the break. We did ask the question before halftime as to whether that catch by Jet Harrison on 3rd and 6 was ruled complete or incomplete. The going opinion is that it was ruled incomplete, and so Imhotep Charter could have had the decision to decline the penalty. Would have been 4th and 6. Of course, they accepted, went to 3rd and 16. St. Joe's Prep, rather than punting, nearly intercepted there by Zaire Mathis. That's the second time he's gotten up and made a play on the football. Couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, Mathis just massive over this offensive line. He's quick, he's able to get up. Like you said, the second one he's gotten up to today.
2nd down and 10. So again, the finishing point there is Imhotep got a chance to get the ball back down 14, maybe score, and then get the football back to start the 3rd quarter. Instead, St. Joe's Prep takes it 70-plus yards down the field, scores with 30 seconds left in the half, and now has the football back, needing just 39 yards to make it a 4-score game. Folk drops it off, and there's a lot of room. Billups inside the 15 and inside the 10. Wonderful play call by St. Joe's Prep.
That was just a textbook screen. Great penetration from Imhotep. It was a little too easy, and you know why.
And they run Tyler 3 wideouts deep, recognizing that coverage, and it was effectively one linebacker in the box. And so St. Joe's Prep gets a lineman downfield, as you can do legally when the ball is caught at the line of scrimmage. That was all that Billups needed. Hand off to Billups. Billups is hit and won't go any further. Maybe lost a yard on the play. And in there on the stop, number 8, Jordan Smith. Second down and 10. This 2-weekend stretch. Question was, could a young St. Joe's Prep team get through it this year with some of the new faces on both sides of the football? Folk, Novotny. Novotny puts his foot in the ground and is taken down at the 6. Right? Could they get by a much improved LaSalle team that beat the Hawks in the regular season? And then here's Imhotep, in all likelihood was going to be waiting for the winner of St. Joe's Prep and LaSalle. Now Lincoln nearly threw a huge wrench in that, by the way. But that was always the thought since August, is who's going to come out of District 12 in the 6A, and if it is St. Joe's Prep again, they will have earned it without any shadow of a doubt. 3rd down, Billups. Billups is inside the 5. He dives into the end zone. Touchdown.
Just amazing body control there. Knowing where the end zone is, falls backwards.
What a play by Kion Billups. Certainly he has impressed in every phase of the game here today. And St. Joe's Prep is that much closer to moving on in the state playoff bracket again. 28-0 Hawks. Interesting play call there as well, Oliver, because it was 3rd and goal from about the 6, and they ran the ball with Billups, saying, hey, listen, he's a home run threat, but he's also a physical threat in tight spaces, and you know what? If he doesn't get there, we're going to call another offensive play on 4th down. They didn't need to.
Yeah, he is very difficult to get to the ground. He's able to move through tight spaces like you said. The second efforts are always there. He has great control, finding the end zone. He's just an overall such a great player, such a highly sought-after talent.
We do know that St. Joe's Prep or Imhotep, the winner of this game, will take on Parkland in a state semifinal. Parkland last night beat Emmaus at Whitehall High School by a score of 17-3. That will be a terrific game, and in years past, yes, the District 11 champ has not been able to get by St. Joe's Prep really ever since St. Joe's Prep has come into the PIAA, but there have been a few close contests, and this Parkland team, I think, is extremely talented. One worth watching. Some other results, by the way, last evening. Central, how about Central, Bucks South, and North Penn? North Penn takes down CB South, previously unbeaten, and they'll take on Downingtown West in the District 1 final. Remember, that District 1 champ spits out all the way in the state semifinal. And so the winner of Parkland against the winner of this game, of course, next weekend, would take on the winner of Downingtown West and CB South in the state semifinal. McLeish slings that one out wide, and Brandon Lockley out to make the tackle after a gain of 7. Maybe they give him 6 on the play. Isaiah Prater comes up a little bit limp after that catch. Lines up on the near side of the field as we see it, D'd up by Messiah Acree. McLeish over the middle. That was well behind the intended recipient, Jabri Wallace Coleman. Coleman, by the way, I had a chance to broadcast, well, actually a lot of Imhotep State Finals games over the past every years. And last year, at this time, he was committed to the University of Georgia. And my broadcast partner at the time said, when I recognized that Jaywan Sider was on the sideline, Penn State's running backs coach, he says, well, I don't know what he's doing here. He's recruited to Georgia, Jabri, so he's not going after him. As McLeish turns out of one tackle, his lineman is pushing him forward, but he won't get back even to the line of scrimmage.
He kind of ran into his tackle there, and his tackle tried to push him across, but no.
And a change in units. McLeish, of course, is the punter, but the special teams unit comes out onto the field. So to finish that story, my partner says, well, why is Jaywan Sider here, right? Jabri Wallace Coleman isn't going to Penn State. He's going to Georgia. And my response was 12, 13 months away, December of 2025. That is a long way from today. And Jabri Wallace Coleman, now a senior, he flipped his commitment about a month later, and he's about a month away from signing with Penn State. Thrilled to have him going up to campus. Off the side of the foot. And St. Joe's Prep will start with the football at the 43. Now, a statement that I don't think many folks would have expected, certainly not coming into the year and with the expectations of this game. St. Joe's Prep is a touchdown and an extra point away from a running clock. 5:11 to play, third quarter.
And like I said, the playbook is just wide open. St. Joe's Prep, they're just moving the ball so well in all facets of the game.
Billups in the backfield. Jet Harrison and Elijah Turner line up on the near side of the field as we see it. Billups off tackle. He just saw that edge and took it. And the athleticism of the big lineman getting downfield Little slow to get up. But my goodness, Khalil Stewart, number 74, is stride for stride with Billups leading the way. What a play. Syracuse is getting a special talent. Novotny in motion. Folk steps up. Nice delivery. Ramir Hardy sits down after a gain of 6.
Yeah, not much there. Figured, why take the big hit, get no more gain, just sit down on that.
Well done by Folk. Pocket collapsing behind him, has some space in front, steps up, stays behind the line of scrimmage, delivers a strike to Hardy. Just everything clicking for this Preps offense.
2nd down and 4. Billups got right to the line to gain. 1st down, St. Joe's Prep. Just continues to fall forward every single time he touches the football.
And wow, this 3rd quarter is going quick.
And it could go even quicker in the 4th quarter if St. Joe's Prep scores right here. Folk, big time throw. Jed Harrison makes the play, gain of 7. It's a confident throw, up 28-0 there, because you're giving that defensive back, in this case Dylan Abram, every chance to come in and try to jump that route. You're going to need a crisp ball on time and with a little bit of zip. And he did just that. Second and 3. Billups, he's gone. Kion Billups, 27 yards.
Wow.
I mean, how much quicker can it happen? Exploding out of the pile. He is so quick once he gets downhill, no chance to catch him.
Was he even touched there? That you could drive a semi through that lane.
And for all the talk of Imhotep versus St. Joe's Prep, unsportsmanlike conduct, by the way, called against St. Joe's Prep. It's after the play. So they keep 34 on the scoreboard. And this is actually the right decision here by Imhotep. A lot of times you see teams take that 15 yards on the next play. Well, I guess not. Perhaps not given that option, or perhaps not determined. But again, I don't know where their head's at in terms of coming back and winning this game. But the minute this extra point goes through and a running clock starts, you just reduce your number of possessions here. So if you have any chance to make that more difficult, if you had the ability to take the penalty, you should have. Illegal substitution called against Imhotep Charter. 1 too many men on the field. It's a 35-point ball game. St. Joe's Prep in control. And they'll start winding that running clock.
Especially in a game, you know, you look at the beginning of this game, Imhotep, Prep goes 3 and out. They block that punt. They have a good first drive. Can't quite punch it in. You're not expecting it to be 35-0 before we start the 4th quarter. It's really seemed like in that 1st quarter, looked like Imhotep was going to give them a game, but reality sets in. Prep finds their groove, and this is where we are.
And they wear teams down. You know, Alex, you've seen this over the course of the year, right? That offensive line getting downhill consistently, you can hang with them for a while, but they're betting that 48 minutes of that offensive line's physicality will be too much for most teams.
I mean, yeah, Bob, we see how well the St. Joe's Prep team plays respectively or arguably the best team ever in Pennsylvania in the last 20 years. And they've just been dominating, and they're doing what they've been doing today against Imhotep.
So now they will mark off the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty from the touchdown run.
I think Richie's still got this with the wind.
Not going to see. If he gets this one in the end zone, that'd be pretty impressive there.
From the 25-yard line, he definitely has a tailwind.
Nope.
Kicked it to about the 15, so that would have been in the end zone. And Imhotep. A flag comes in the area of holding. And it looked like Rennell Word, number 30. So that will bring it way back. Flag was thrown inside the 40-yard line. There's your call from the white-hatted official. 10-yard penalty, they'll step it back from the 40.
Still okay field position.
And there is that running clock, as you see at the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And a flag comes in, and it's for sideline warning. I don't believe they've had one of those. So the next one will be stepped off. Clock is running. They're still huddling by that Imhotep sideline. And you can understand why, but it just feels like a deflated group over there, just watching the body language. They pitched that one outside. It is the first time all day that we've gotten a look at Sayer Coleman. Coleman, the junior running back, he was injured last week, and another Imhotep Panther is injured on the play. That's Nick Williams, the senior guard. Coleman, by the way, with 16 offers. How about these schools? Oregon, Tennessee, South Carolina, Syracuse, Pitt, Rutgers, Maryland, West Virginia, Penn State, A&M. That's for a backup running back, Sayer Coleman.
Wow.
He won't be the backup next year. Junior will take over for Jabri Wallace Coleman, one of the highest decorated players in Imhotep and Philadelphia history in many, many ways. It won't end the way that he wants it here today, but a terrific career nonetheless. And if you're a Nittany Lion fan, I know a lot of you are around here, excited to see what Jabri Wallace Coleman does up at Penn State. He'll join Keon Wiley. Tyler, you're going to recognize a lot of these names from Imhotep. Keon Wiley, Tyseer Denmark, who played his last year of football at Imhotep Charter, and Kenny Woosley, who is a freshman at Penn State now. And ironically enough, each of those guys are either getting time or slated to get a little bit of time in the next few weeks. Wiley has been hurt. I know they're really excited to have him off the edge and kind of play that outside linebacker, played to edge in high school. Kenny Woosley has played some snaps on the special teams side of the football. And Tyseer Denmark, they feel like he's going to start playing as soon as today against Purdue. Give him some snaps at the wide receiver position. So that's who Jabri Wallace Coleman will be joining.
Denmark, that he had that insane reception against LaSalle a few years back.
That's right. He was playing for Roman Catholic at the time. He had two of them, I think, in that game.
Yeah, it was just an absolute stud. No surprise to hear he's succeeding at the next level.
Good to see Williams up and off the field on his own power. He's still struggling a little bit naturally, but fully on his power on his own 2 feet. He'll get looked at by the great training staff here at Imhotep. 2nd down and 9. And the clock will continue to tick the rest of the way, given the 35-point running clock rule. Line of gain is the 40 for Imhotep, dressed in the black. McLeish. And that was well underthrown off his back foot. Intended for Kareem Abdul-Haq. One more look, and it's just really, really difficult to get enough oomph behind that throw. Falling back like that. 3rd and 10.
It is kind of crazy at this level to see 2 sophomore quarterbacks competing like this.
Yeah, and 2 quarterbacks, Tyler, that, again, I am very impressed by. It's a tough day for McLeish, but he can throw the ball well. He'll only get better. Takes a big shot, and the ball is dislodged. Incomplete is the call. Nice play out there by Roman Colabardino, and for St. Joe's Prep, Mason Talley. A reserve cornerback, beg your pardon. There was a flag called, a holding against Imhotep, and St. Joe's Prep makes the right decision to decline it.
Interesting.
Yep, and Imhotep, they're going to punt the football away.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, looks like they're just going to wait to punt it on the other side of the field with the wind.
Yep, absolutely. They won't snap it before the end of the 3rd quarter. And we'll see if they come to a different decision, whether you keep the offense out there and keep fighting at this point, or if you punt it back to St. Joe's Prep. It's a beautiful day here at Northeast High School, and maybe feels a little better if you're a St. Joe's Prep Hawk fan. They have packed their side of the stadium here at Northeast, and they'll continue to follow their team throughout the state playoff run. What came down to a couple of snaps in last week's game against LaSalle. Gap is a little wider here today against Imhotep, and there's a really talented District 11 champ Parkland team coming up next. TBD as to whether that game will be Friday or Saturday, and of course, we do not yet know the location. St. Joe's Prep brings the house.
Ooh, they hit the punter.
They did hit the punter. So anything that happens from here out is Turner taken down at the 30.
Forgot the punter was also McLeish.
Yeah, that's right.
You rough the punter and the passer on the same play right there.
Now there may be LaSalle High School football fans sitting here saying, hang on now, hang on. Our quarterback got rocked.
That's right.
As he was punting the football last week, and with no call. Now, I have not seen a call yet, and so here's what that was about. They were asking Devin Johnson, the head coach of Imhotep, it's a 5-yard running into the kicker penalty, which would have made it 4th and 4. And so whether you take that penalty on the front end and either punt it again or go for it on 4th and 4, or to just step it back at the end of the punt, and they decided to step it back at the end of the punt. So I think that those couple of decisions tell you where Imhotep feels at this one. They are just looking to see this one come to its conclusion. First and 10 for St. Joe's Prep. They'll get some reserve guys some minutes. Will Vokalos, no gain on the play on first down.
And interesting to see how Prep approaches this. Like you say, getting some backup reps in, but also a lot of starters still out in the field.
Yep. Hand off and nowhere to go for Billups. One of the only times all day, quite frankly, that he didn't get past the line of scrimmage. A flag came in from the umpire in the middle of the field. It's a dead ball personal foul called against St. Joe's Prep. So the down is completed. It's effectively a loss, not a loss of down per se, but second down play completed, walk it off 15 yards.
A little longer than the 3rd and 16 we saw earlier.
And Vokalos will be taken down, and it'll be time for the punt unit to come out for St. Joe's Prep. And you think about the road to get here for the Hawks, right? The loss to LaSalle. They lost another game in the early portion of the season. Were beaten up pretty good by a national power out of Ohio. And Tim Roken said, listen, that is what our group needed at the time. An inexperienced group that has gotten better as the year goes along. And I'm going to go right down the list here, you guys, because you've seen them twice. I did feel like St. Joe's Prep improved from game 1 to game 2. LaSalle game 1, that is, against the second time they played LaSalle. And here there's really been no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes those losses can really help kind of catapult your season if you have a good coach and are able to, learn from it.
Especially with a young quarterback as well, Falk. He had a pretty solid game 1 against LaSalle, but then a great game last week. His improvement throughout the year has been really great as he's grown into the starting quarterback that the Prep's going to need as they make their state playoff runs.
That's the beauty of high school football, because there may be LaSalle folks out there saying, well, wait a second, what about LaSalle? I actually thought LaSalle improved significantly from the first game against St. Joe's Prep to the second game as well. Thought that was as high level of high school football game as I've seen in a very, very long time. And it just feels as if these two teams are going to be matched up against one another for years and years to come. There is a flag, and it was a clear block in the back. The shove on the play came from Samir Locke, so it will push Imhotep back 10 yards from the spot of the foul, which appears to be about the 46-yard line. And it's not meant to be disrespectful to the rest of the state or anyone else when folks say, listen, LaSalle St. Joe's Prep felt like the state championship last week, but it's a reality of how football is, that if there are two teams of a certain caliber, in this case 3 teams of a very high caliber from a certain district, this isn't basketball, right, Alex? I mean, the 3 seed from District 3 is not taking on the 1 seed from District 1, and the 4 seed from District 1 is not taking on the top seed out of District 12. It's just you play till you get a district champion, and that's it. And wherever that spits you out in the state playoff bracket, that could be the quarterfinals like Parkland and St. Joe's Prep, we'll find out next week, or like District 7 out in Pittsburgh, the WPIAL, or like District 1 in the suburbs of Philadelphia. That can spit you out all the way at the semifinal. Second down and 10. Good catch there. Good throw and catch. Abdul Haq taken out of bounds at the 42. First down for Imhotep.
Wow.
And now lots of flags, and they're getting into it on the St. Joe's Prep sideline.
Abdul Haq not happy with the defender holding on to him after he was out of bounds. And it's not a good place to be when you're surrounded by the opposing team.
Yep. And if you're St. Joe's Prep, right, it's the viewpoint you have to think about this from, Tyler. The only thing that can happen is somebody can do something stupid with raised tensions and understandably frustrated Imhotep team. You just need to get through the next 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yep. Nothing happened. Offsetting penalties.
Where is our down marker, gentlemen, there? He's about
Limbo.
15 yards behind the sticks. There we go. First down. McLeish, nice throw on the run. Finds Abdul Haq again inside the 25.
That's a really great play from McLeish and Hawk. Again, pulling it away from that rush on the outside. Great throw on the run, right where it needs to be. And McLeish has had himself a pretty solid day.
Low snap. McLeish with time. What a job to avoid Joe McLeish out of bounds.
Wow.
He's got the first down. It was good protection, then he ran out of time, and then a heck of an athletic play, Tyler.
Yeah, just a great play by McLeish. I don't know how he was able to stand up there. It looked like he was wrapped up, but just kind of spun out of it. Look at this. Imhotep knocking on the door.
Hanging in, playing hard to the end. This will end their season. They'll be a 2-loss team, 11-2 on the year, another good year for the Imhotep Panthers. They just have not had this test in years past. They've been in their own lane, 5A, dominating for a decade. St. Joe's Prep in their 6A lane, dominating for a decade plus. I think there are folks out there that will tell you that, hey, maybe it's not Imhotep's most talented team. I could certainly see that. Agree, understand to some extent. But still a big game that these two programs have been waiting to see against one another for many, many years. And at least in round number one, the big boys, St. Joe's Prep, are going to come out on top. First and 15. And miscommunication there. There were 3 receivers in the area, but nobody was looking back for the football. One more look there. It might have been intended for Wallace Coleman. Again, not a traditional receiver, but taking more snaps out of the slot, just as Imhotep's needed to get the ball down the field more here in the second half. Pressure, and McLeish got drilled. It's intercepted by Anthony Sacca. Sacca with a good move. Sacca with blocks. The Notre Dame commit puts a cap on this one.
Wow.
And for a young man that has been the linchpin of this program in a lot of ways for the last 4 years, taking the mantle from the Trotter brothers in that linebacking core, that one sure needs, and I'm sure has to, feel good.
McLeish just got drilled on that. Tried to force it out of there, and Sacca just showed great patience, let those blocks develop, and good for him.
Came into the prep thinking, hey, maybe I can be a quarterback, right? His father, Tony Sacca, had so many great years at both levels, college and pro. And pretty quickly grew out of that. But man, oh man, has that vision like a quarterback escaping the pocket.
Yeah, you can tell he has a very high football IQ. It's not just the physical gifts, but puts in the work with the film and is rewarded there with 6.
He takes that better than 90 yards to the house. We have a stoppage here for something here, folks.
I think the officials were catching up to Sacca. They just got down on the field there.
Richie is good, and it's a 42-0 lead for St. Joe's Prep. Five minutes or so left to go in this one in a running clock situation. Let's go around the horn here. Alex, let's start with you. What else have you seen? What else has caught your interest, if anything, around the PIAA state playoffs to this point and the games to get here?
I mean, yeah, Bob. I mean, one of the most interesting parts about this St. Joe's Prep team is just this legacy that they've created over the last 20 years and the new coaching under Tim Roken and what stamp he's gonna put on this prep football team. And you see guys like Cam Smith and Anthony Sacco on this defense, but it's time to see the future and seeing guys like Folk and just out a sophomore being a QB. He has a legacy to continue. I'd like to see that coming into the playoffs.
Well, and you talked about Tim Roken. I mean, that stamp's already been put. But to your point, Gabe Infante, he's been gone for a while, but the hallmarks of that program remain, and Tim Roken's done a lot of his own new traditions and running his program his way with those same traits, if you will, that Infante did. I absolutely agree. And on the Folk side, right, we said it in the first game that we saw between LaSalle and St. Joe's Prep. It's a 10-year plan at quarterback. Must be nice, right? And we're talking about Kyle McCord playing for 4 years. Samaj Jones now playing at the University of Cincinnati, a 3-year starter. And now Charlie Folk will be a 3-year starter in all likelihood. A 10-year plan at quarterback is something that very few programs can say that they have. And St. Joe's Prep is one of those programs. Oliver, how about you? It doesn't have to be in District 12 necessarily, or it could be. What's been your takeaway from this football season?
Yeah, I'm just so excited to see the growth of Charlie Folk, like you had mentioned. I think he's going to be a guy that he's only going to get better throughout his junior and senior year, and he's going to be a guy who's going to go to play at a very high level. His growth is going to be so fun to watch the next couple seasons. He's had a great year so far, especially as he's settled in to the starting role, but he really is a talented quarterback, and he's only going to get better. Tyler,
how about you?
Yeah, I'll stay on the Folk train. I think we saw his growth this year, against that LaSalle team. In person, really tried to push the deep ball a lot that first game. And the second game didn't really force it that much. It did have that one deep pass for the touchdown last week, but uses his legs, isn't afraid to check down, and it has obviously increased his football IQ this season. There's a lot of young quarterbacks that we've seen. McLeish out there has been having a tough day. Obviously the talent's there, and he's only a sophomore. Gavin Sidwar Jr., we get to see him again next year, so looking forward to the Sidwar Folk battle to continue. And I don't know, it's just St. Joe's Prep is the big bad wolf of Pennsylvania state football.
Haven't been able to figure him out. Nobody has. Pollard makes the play, by the way. Couple new faces in there for St. Joe's Prep defensively, including number 32, Andrew Huff. Quinn Doyle will take some snaps in the linebacking core. We mentioned Mason Talley wearing number 29. He's back out there for some more snaps. And nearly intercepted again. And that would have been number 52, John Boggs, the linebacker. Got two hands on it. TJ Capaldi, a senior defensive back, is out there for the Hawks as well. Charles Ravelli, a senior defensive lineman. Number 98, Ryan Zatz. And number 71, Vincent DeMarco out on the defensive line. Connor Bryce, number 97, is a defensive lineman as well out there. Penalty on the play, and it goes against St. Joe's Prep. And all the while, by the way, Roman Colabardino remains out there to anchor that secondary for the Hawks. Coleman remains out there at the running back position. Haven't seen a ton of snaps of him today, but he's out there for Imhotep Charter. Bayer Murphy, number 18, at the wide receiver possession, 2nd and 5. McLeish, good throw. Caught at the 40. And Abdul Haq inside the 30-yard line. Nice play. Trying to put some points on the board before this one is all said and done.
I like the effort from Abdul Haq there. Bobbing and weaving there, trying to get as many yards as he can. See if he can get his team into the end zone before this minute and 15 seconds is up on this running clock.
So I asked you guys your thoughts on state playoffs, and a lot of it had to do with District 12. Makes sense. We have a lot of that here as McLeish fires to the sideline, incomplete. My takeaway is going to be that St. Joe's Prep is the only, I believe this is true, St. Joe's Prep is the only remaining existing, defending, if you will, state champion. The only defending state champion left in the state playoffs, so we'll see at least 5 new state champs. Had LaSalle come up with the win last week, we would have had all new state champs before the district semifinals were over, basically in every single district, which would have been incredible. But St. Joe's Prep, they are looking to win their 3rd straight and their 8th in 10 years. They'll get that chance against Parkland High School next weekend in a District 11 versus District 12 matchup. 15 seconds on the clock. It'll be a first down for Imhotep. Can they get one more snap? Down to 10. They don't seem to be in a huge hurry. And now the play is blown dead, and Imhotep called timeout. They want to get another snap with 6 seconds left.
Yeah, I assume they're just going to try to take a shot at the end zone here. Get something up for this game.
The way that the players were walking slowly seemed to not go along with what the coach wanted, which was the score.
And now they're going to put the scoreboard up to a technological test and ask them to put 11 seconds on it. Thankfully, the great folks up there were up to task. I didn't have any doubt.
I don't know, since I've covered this, that I've ever seen a timeout taking during a running clock. Now that I thought about it, I didn't really consider it as a possibility.
So I don't know if you can get this actually, Alex. Check out the center of the field right now. So you got 11 guys on offense, you got 11 guys on defense, and then you have everyone lined up for Imhotep Charter ready to do the handshakes, and you also have everyone on the other side of the field for St. Joe's Prep lined up to do the handshakes. Again, Tyler, I just can't say I've ever seen that before. Want to thank everyone for joining us here and watching this telecast. Alex Shevchuk, Oliver Gomez, Tyler Kern. I'm Bob Long. We're the Bob Long Sports crew. And we're thrilled to have been able to bring this to you here today. Incomplete. Just couldn't quite get the foot down. Had to jump for the football, and his momentum took him out of bounds.
And there was a flag on the play against Imhotep. And I don't know if they got the timeout off and if the pre-snap handshake formation will continue.
Yeah, there's 4 seconds left. It's a personal foul. It's roughing the passer against St. Joe's Prep.
So they pointed towards Imhotep for the timeout.
And they called it timeout. Half the distance to the goal. So they're looking to score once more. But you know what? No, they're not. They're just going to run the clock out. And St. Joe's Prep is the 2024 PIAA District 12 6A football champions. They continue their march onward in yet another state playoffs, and they'll be 2 wins away from going to their 10th consecutive state final. The train goes on, and it runs through Girard Avenue in Philadelphia. I want to thank everyone for joining us here today. For Tyler Kern, Alex Shevchuk, Oliver Gomez, Bob Long saying so long here from Northeast High School. St. Joe's Prep dominant again in a District 12 title.